Tell me about yourself. Like, where did you work at?
Okay, just my name.
Sure.
Okay. Hi, my name is Elana and I'm a senior here at Cal Poly Pomona University. My major is apparel merchandising and management, and I am currently working at the Legoland Hotel as a housekeeping coordinator.
Okay. I heard you're becoming an assistant manager. Is that right?
Yes.
Very excited about it?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Okay.
So many opportunities coming up.
Good. Can you tell me about how many people you manage?
Okay, right now I manage about 30 to 38 housekeepers.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions. Just answer best you can. The first question is, how do you think your status or position influence others?
My status or position as a coordinator influences others as the way they see me. You know, they see me as someone that they can trust, that they can listen to, because I will be giving them good direction so we can finish the job on time.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that'll be a follow, kind of like a similar questions. If you didn't have your current title, how would influence your followers?
Wait, my current title?
If you don't have current title, so if you're not like a manager,
how would I manager?
Mm-hmm.
How would I influence others?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can influence others through school as being a student by being a good role model, by attending class on time and letting them know that, hey, you know what, going to school it's good for you because you're getting education, you know, you're meeting new people. Education.
Well.
You're getting education, you're meeting new people, you know, you're doing other things and set the example that, you know.
The next question is, how important is it to be likable in order to be an effective leader?
How is it important to what? To be likable?
How important is it to be likable in order to be an effective leader?
Well, it's important to be likable so people can go up to you and trust you whenever they have any questions or, you know, any concerns. Because nobody wants to go to someone that they don't trust or they don't like or they have a bad attitude. They want to go to the person that they're more likable and you feel more like approachable to them. Okay,
so question number 3. What important traits do you feel a successful leader should possess?
Important trait to be kind of like going back to the last question is being likable, being approachable, because that's someone that you can build trust with your coworkers or even your peers at school.
Okay.
Other traits could be what's it called when you make a promise? Like
promise keeping, or like
you keep it. Like when you say something, you do it. What's it called?
Say, like, I'm a man of my word.
Oh yeah, being a man, or in this case,
a woman of your words.
Okay. Of your words. So if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it. Don't just like at the end.
Okay, so can you give me an example of how you think these traits help a leader to be successful?
An example?
Kind of like a follow-up questions. Kind of like a follow-up questions.
Oh, okay. So, for example, at work, whenever there's an issue with maybe 2 coworkers, they're probably fighting over something, and one of them, you know, can go up to you and explain the situation because they know that you're gonna go over there and fix the problem.
Okay. For question number 5, how have past career experience such as mentoring, training, and job assignment help you develop your problem-solving skills?
How has the past?
Mm-hmm.
Like the past
career experience, like maybe school experience probably counts as a career experience.
Yeah, I can use my own job. Wait, how has the past career experience helped me like influence what?
So how have past experience, career experience such as mentoring, training, and job assignment help you develop your problem-solving skill?
Well, everything that I have learned honestly is from watching my manager or my boss. She just takes me in when she has to coach somebody that probably didn't do something right or is getting a corrective action or whatever. She always brings me in and tells me, hey, Elana, I want you to shadow me. I want you to see how we do this. And just from that, it's the way I've been learning, just from watching other people and from being part of the experience.
Okay. So, follow-up question. How about those two same questions. Hold on. Wait. Okay. How have past career experience such as mentoring, training, and job assignment help you to understand the social system in the workplace?
I think that could be the same thing as the other, just from watching and shadowing my manager, and just from learning from how others are doing their jobs. I take the same thing and then just put it in my own perspective and just apply it.
Okay. Question number 6. How much time do you spend getting to know your employees beyond work environment?
Like after work hours or doing work?
I would say like after work, because it sounds like how much time do you spend getting to know your employee beyond the work environment? So probably like not at work.
Oh, okay. Well, even at work, I spend honestly almost 8 hours of my day, like from the time I clock in to the time I clock out. Just because in my job environment, in the housekeeping department, we do a lot of walkthroughs at the hotel to make sure that all the housekeepers are doing their jobs on time and, they have all their supplies. So, as we're checking up on them, we're also kind of, making sure that they're doing okay in their life. I'm like, hey, how's everything going? And then sometimes they bring up like personal life things like, oh, I'm going to a party or whatever. And that's how we get to know them. And honestly, just with everybody in my team, I'm very attached to them. And we have a great connection with all of them.
Okay. So, question number 7. How do you change your leadership style to adapt to the different personality of your followers? Or like for your housekeepers?
Yeah, sometimes like I have to have, 2 faces or 3 because, first when I come into work, we have to be presenting, doing this meeting in the mornings and like what to do, what not to do. And then whenever we have to get on a serious note, in the beginning we're all friendly, but whenever someone gets a guest complaint or they get in trouble for not taking their lunch, you do have to take them aside and then put on this serious face and tell them, hey, like, you did this wrong, but at the same time be friendly so they don't take it the wrong way. But there are 2 phases to our jobs. Like one is, be kind of like friendly, happy, so nobody like gets like pinpointed, I guess. But when someone does do something wrong, we do have to put them aside and kind of show them that serious face.
Okay, that's question number 8. Describe how you work with a follower who is well trained but lacks the willingness to complete assigned tasks.
Oh god, I hate those. The best thing to do is communication. I have worked with them like at school, even at work when we get an assignment, and when you feel like someone isn't pulling the same weight as you are, the best thing to do is to talk to them and not just call them out like, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Just say, hey, you know what, I noticed that you haven't done this sometimes. Do you want me to help you with it? It's the way that you bring it up.
Okay, the follow-up questions. Now, what about the opposite situation when you're dealing with a follower who is very willing to complete a task but lacks ability?
Flexibility?
Yeah, like they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna do everything, but then they just like
they don't do it.
No, like they don't have the ability to do it.
Probably. Well, I think when it comes to that, that's when you would lend a hand and just tell them like, hey, just be mindful of what you can do. And don't promise that you can do everything when you're not, because you will be looking bad at the end.
Okay.
And then whenever you need any help or a hand in need, just always communicate with the manager or a coworker.
Okay. So, question number 9. What can happen to prevent an employee from accomplishing a goal?
What can happen to prevent from accomplishing a goal? Well, what can happen? I guess the answer to that would be from them slacking. I mean, if they show that they come to work late or they don't do as they're told, or like the previous question, they promised they were going to do something but they didn't. Well, that's just a couple ways for me to know like that this person doesn't want to accomplish a goal or move up in the position.
Okay. What behaviors or skills do you use to motivate your follower to accomplish goals?
Well, for example, at work, we do a lot of incentives. So for the housekeepers, we tell them like, hey, if everybody finishes their rooms at a specific time, let's say 4:15, we promise them all like lunch or a potluck at the end of the week. But we have to make sure that we do meet that goal so they can, receive that incentive. But what we do at work is we just try to be very positive-minded. We do incentives, we play games. We just try to keep the workload like as light as possible, but yeah, they have to complete it at a certain time.
Okay, another follow-up question. How do your employees' personality characteristics impact their motivation to complete company or group goals?
Group goals.
Yeah.
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Okay, yeah. I know it's really worded. How do your employees' personality characteristics impact their motivations to complete company/group goals?
Group goals. So how do the coworkers like finish their work, I guess?
It's kind of like everybody different personality,
Yeah.
and then how they like.
Well, everybody at work, like honestly, with the type of people that I work, they're housekeepers. They're in the ages of late 30s to maybe early 40s, and they're all mothers, and they're all Hispanic, and unfortunately, they are all drama queens. So they all have a different mentality, and one of the manager's goal or the leader's goal is to make sure that any drama just stays outside of work and that they don't bring it inside, because it does really affect everybody if someone says something or even they laugh about something else because someone else didn't think it was funny. So our job is to maintain that outside of the work place and just keep a positive mindset. Just let them know, like, hey, you're here to work. You're not here to really make any friends. Just do your job. Don't listen to any drama, and just stop thinking about it. And that will help them, stay focused and, finish their work on time. And we meet our goal by finishing up our work on time.
Okay. At what point do you realize that a follower has become a trusted team member?
When they when we see that they are putting in the work. So for example, if someone comes in to work on time every day, they don't call out, they do their work on time, they finish it, they don't slack. That's how I know, that person does their job really well, and maybe they're interested. I can talk to them and have a one-on-one and see, hey, what are your goals here? That's the best thing about a manager, because you're listening to them and, you want to help them, move up in this world, especially in the company they want to. And if they're really interested, you can help them by giving them some tasks to see how they can do. And if they finish them, then they can do that. That's the way I did it.
Okay, so question number 11. What is the biggest change you have seen develop in your followers, your team, and yourself?
All three or just one?
What is the biggest change you have seen develop in your follower, your team, and yourself? So I would say, like, which one's the greater one?
Myself. I think the greatest change was in myself, because when I started with Legoland, I started cleaning restrooms, and I worked in the grounds department in the park. So all we had to do was go around the parks and pretty much check up on all the restrooms, change the toilet paper, change the stove, and pick up trash. And then over the years, I've been moving up to become an OJT, which is training on the job trainer. And then I became a leader. And then slowly, one of my biggest weaknesses was I used to be super shy. I did not like to talk in front of people. I just minded my own business, did my own work. But then as these opportunities were coming, I was taking them, and it was helping me grow as a person too. Because as I was becoming a leader and soon supervisor, and then hopefully next year assistant manager, I am talking now in front of people. I'm leading meetings. I'm making presentations in front of my managers. So I have grown a lot with Legoland, just, with jobs, and just for myself too, personally. Like, I do a lot more talking. I'm not shy anymore, and, I'm taking a lot of tasks that I can do myself.
What about, like, your housekeeping team?
Like, how have they grown?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have grown also with the help of the leaders. They come in knowing like nothing, how to do a bed. They don't know how to do beds. They don't know how to like clean up a room, and they come in and we teach them. We show them, hey, you know what, this is the way to do it. And then when they get a board on their own, where they have to clean their rooms on their own, we don't just let them be on their own. The leaders always go back and check their rooms, and we bring them back and say, hey, you know what, you missed this. This is the way I would clean it. And we always coach them and tell them how to do it so they can save time, and then they wouldn't miss the spot later.
Okay. And then follow-up question. What do you think was the source of or reason for this change?
What was the source?
Or like what?
Like, why did it happen?
Mm-hmm. To you and the team.
Well, the source was, I feel like, the opportunities that were coming up, and that my managers, when they see potential in you, they would come and talk to you and say, hey, you know what, I still have potential, and there's this opportunity coming up, and I feel like you would be a great fit for it. So having a manager come up to you and tell you, hey, this is a great opportunity, that helps you and gets you motivated to apply. just having opportunities come at you and having that motivational speaker too, and positivity from the manager.
Okay. So next one is, have you ever had your integrity questions and how did you react?
Wait, what?
I know, it's like...
What's that?
Have you ever had your integrity questions and how did you react?
Yes, I have. And, honestly, it does get to me, unfortunately, but I don't let it show it to my peers or coworkers. And if there is a problem where it does get out of hand, I do talk to them privately and say, hey, why are you saying this about me? I do believe in myself. I did work really hard for this position. This is what I did. But, at the end of the day, you don't really have to explain them to anybody. If your boss gave you that position because they know that you could do it. And, just don't let negativity get to you.
Okay, question number 13. What is the biggest challenge you have faced as a leader and how did you overcome that challenge?
Oh, gosh. The biggest challenge as a leader. There were so many challenges. Well, I guess in the summer when I got offered the coordinator position, my biggest challenge was learning everything in such a short amount of time. Like knowing what sections to put each housekeepers and knowing how to do the opening procedures for the housekeeping department, and doing these presentations in front of the managers. They call health checks, which talks about budget. And I think that was my biggest challenge just because I had such a short amount of time, and then the managers expected you to know everything already by like week 3 or week 4 of getting the job. So it was a lot of work. And then on top of that, you're not salaried, so you can't be there all the time. I was only hourly, so trying to learn everything with 8 hours, and then it was just not enough time. And I even told my manager, hey, like next time I need to be salaried so I can be here longer, because I didn't mind being at work longer just to learn and do more projects. It was just a matter of time, time, and just not enough time in the day.
Okay, next question, number 14. To what extent do you think it is important for a leader to admire failure to his or her followers?
To admire failure?
Mm-hmm. To admit failure, sorry.
Oh,
Boop.
To admit failure. At what point is it okay to admit failure in front of your followers?
Mm-hmm.
I think at any point it's okay to admit failure, because you're showing your followers that we all make mistakes and we all learn from our mistakes, because I made a lot of mistakes at work, and I always tell my manager like, hey, you know what, I understand I did this wrong, but I promise I'm not gonna do it again because I have learned my mistake. And it's okay to tell them that, like, hey, I know I did this wrong, and you tell others, your followers, hey, you know what, I made a mistake here, I apologize, I will try my best not to do it again. But admitting to that you're making a mistake lets everybody else know that, you know what, she isn't perfect and we all make mistakes. We're all human beings, and that's the best way to learn.
Okay, question number 15. How, if at all, do you think your gender has positively or negatively impacted the perception people have of you as a leader?
The gender?
Mm-hmm.
I think gender does have a huge effect in my job. Just because, for example, this guy, Edgar, and myself, we both applied for the coordinator position, and we're both bilingual. We can both do the jobs. We all do everything. We do the same things. And I had been there longer though, so maybe that may have an effect. But at the end of the day, I ended up getting the job just because I feel like the rest of the housekeeping team, they're all females, and they feel probably more. They probably feel like, oh, you know what, they can go to Elena maybe because she's a girl, and they can talk to like problems with her. Anything like any family issues or work related issues, I probably a female is more approachable in this case. But then again, I have been there at work longer, and this other person that applied, who happened to be a male, he wasn't as approachable. Like the way that he approached the housekeepers was different than the way I approached them, and maybe that's why gender has a huge thing to do in this department.
Okay, so the next question is, to what extent do you think our country's culture impacts the way you lead?
The culture?
Yeah, like American culture.
The way you lead?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Okay, to what extent do you think our country's culture impacts the way you lead?
I feel like question is asking me about like the American culture and how I've seen other leaders work.
How you affect you.
How they affect me?
Mm-hmm. Because it's always about you, girl.
Oh, it's about me.
Okay. Boop.
I think for that question, I have to say it's just from maybe seeing others. I guess I really don't know how to answer this one.
Okay. The question is, to what extent do you think our country cultures impacts the way you lead?
I think for that question is I have to relate it to leaders and what I've experienced from what I've seen in history and from what I've seen at work, and that just impacts the way I make my decisions.
This will be the last questions.
Thank God. These are hard.
Thank you for your time
Oh, you're welcome.
and helping me with me understanding the leadership. Is there anything you think I should have asked that I didn't?
I think all the questions you asked were really good and a little difficult. But no, I think everything that you asked is good.
Okay. And then there's like gonna be a little follow-up questions, like a trivia questions. If you are a scientist one day, and then you can make a pill, and that pill will make anybody become a fantastic leader, what's gonna be in the pill?
Oh, what's gonna be in the pill? I would put all the ingredients that the father for the Powerpuff Girls used to create them. They want you to put sugars, stars. No, just kidding. For this pill, what would I put? I would probably put ingredients for potential, all the qualities that we want to see in a leader. Being on work on time, great attitude, a great personality, strengths, and of course, I would put some weaknesses. So like every pill has an effect. The weakness will probably be the effect. But yeah, and this pill would probably be purple with stripes. But it would have all the ingredients of a great person that can do the job, but at the same time have weaknesses, because we're not all perfect, and the perfect pill doesn't exist.